Well, that's a very good question. I hope it's not the normal. um, Twitter diplomacy, I mean, the social media are a new channel of communication that we can all use. I mean, it's not the only one, but of course, it's now a very prominent one, thanks to the US president. And what is very different to the past, that we have real-time information and anybody can get that information with an internet access. So that has, of course, changed the nature of diplomacy or politics also quite a bit. The whole digital diplomacy. Diplomats use it as well, but they have to stick to the line, the official position, whereas, of course, a politician can have his or her own opinion tweeted. It can be dangerous as well because tweets are very short and it can lead to misunderstandings if you use the wrong words, if you're not well informed of a situation. I think a diplomat would be much more careful than a politician might be, but it also depends on the political system, as you said, like to what extent a leader might engage in this or not, and also whether he or she does it herself or has staff using their Twitter account. Diplomats are still needed also today, but their job has changed quite a bit. So they have to manage much more complexity and they have to engage much more in networks, all kinds of networks, because I think President Trump is a good example in the sense that today diplomacy is much more a whole of government approach. So it's not just the State Department or the Foreign Ministry, but also other kinds of ministries or the White House or the President's office, the Chancellery, whatever. They all engage in it. And it's not just what used to be the Foreign Office that is engaging in diplomacy. And even actors beyond public authorities. I mean, from the private sector, if you think of business diplomacy, corporate diplomacy, commercial diplomacy, NGO diplomacy, celebrity diplomacy. We have all kinds of diplomacies with a lot of stakeholders. So it depends very much on the definitions, but I mean, the real diplomat, the career diplomat, let's say, working for the government, of course, has to try to juggle with all of them and to manage this complexity, not necessarily be a specialist in everything. It's impossible because we have all kinds of sectoral diplomacy, not diplomacies now, cyber diplomacy, raw materials diplomacy, climate change diplomacy. You can't be a specialist in all of these. So I think their job is mainly to kind of make it coherent, if possible, to keep it together, to facilitate and to coordinate as a generalist in particular. So I think the job description might have changed quite a bit.